Hey guys, it's Law with Hollywood First Look, and we're here at the season 2 premiere of Gen V. Let's take a first look. In the same way that Marie's kind of getting control of her powers, how do you feel like you got control of her as a character in this season?
I think just having had the first season come out and people love it made me feel confident about what we were doing, and I don't know, I just really trust the writers and trust the process and just do my best and work my butt off and hope that it turns out well.
I think there's always something that I can relate to with any character that I play, and even though we do present very differently and have a lot of different beliefs, I think there's always something that I can connect to. And for example, with Kate, I feel like the desire and longing for love and acceptance is a really big one that I really feel.
You know, Emma is my best friend, I like to say, and you know, we're going to meet a very different Emma right off the bat. We're pulling up 8 months in Elmira in prison, and grief changes a person. And it's all about trying to be the hero that Andre saw in her, and she makes mistakes, and trying to be who you are and who you want to be is really, really messy. So that's Emma. And I don't think she really knows her confidence yet. I think she just like leads with her heart, and she's like, everyone can be a hero. And she's like, come on, join. So it was really, really exciting and also kind of fun. From the people pleasing, like wanting everyone to like her, she has a little bit more fire. She's a little bit more spunky, I would say.
Polarity has this rich backstory that you really didn't get a sense of in season 1, you know? And so with all these interactions that he has with all these other people, you see that there's a lot more to this guy than you thought. And I mean, the way that this came about is that, you know, he lost his son, you know, on the show. And so it's kind of very sad that that's the way that it comes about. But it's a good thing to see that there's a much broader world out there for the character, and it's very interesting to see where that goes.
When you're doing those swap scenes, I imagine you're on set together because you have to be able to do that switch.
Yeah.
So what is it that you've learned in observing London in those scenes that help you kind of find Jordan yourself?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think, honestly, relinquishing all ideas or control of whatever the scene is and whatever she's gonna do, and just kind of following her lead. Because like the person who has the hardest job is who comes in mid-switch. Like when you start the scene, it's kind of nice because you can kind of rev up the engine, and then it's like when you have to come in, there's like a pause, and then it's like you got to kind of rev that engine back up, which is a little hard. So I just kind of relinquish all control, all ideas, and just follow London's lead. And she's such a phenomenal actor and does such a good job with Jordan and takes such care of Jordan that, like, I mean, just when I'm hiding in my corner off camera waiting for them to yell switch for me to go on camera, just listening to her just fills me up with emotion.
Derek and I learn so much from each other, and I think that's where we learn the most, is watching each other work and watching footage back. Derek brings Derek to Jordan, and I don't want to copy that because I don't want to do a bad imitation of Derek, because no one can do Derek the way Derek can. But I take a lot from what he does. He's such a great actor.
Yeah, that's like kind of the dream, right? Because acting is all about playing off of people, and acting is reacting. And I only rolled my eyes because it sounds like a pretentious thing to say, but it's true. It's entirely about your scene partner. And so to be in an ensemble of people who are bringing such different energies and different approaches and different, like, intensely fully formed characters, it makes everything kind of easy.
Oh my God, it was so cool because every day you would have like a different rhythm section, you know, different horn section, and you're just like, I get to jam. It's just so lucky.
You know, like when I'm acting with Derek, we're very sort of like playful and goofy, and that energy I think comes through. Even when it's a really intense or hard scene, I feel like there's I'm like energized while I'm doing it because I'm doing it with Derek, and like with Jaz, I feel like I just can fall into her eyes when we're doing a scene. There's a lot of I feel a lot of trust and understanding with her, and that makes me feel like I can sort of surrender to the bit in easier. It's a great thing to be able to play with so many different people that you connect with in so many different ways.
With all the spin-offs and new characters, Do you have like a go-to Bible or PowerPoint that you show people who are joining the universe for the first time?
So we have someone called a lore master, who is Jeff All. He was actually on our writing staff for season 5, and he's been a script coordinator for the show. So he's sort of in the family, and he has a very meticulous mind. And so we gave him that job a couple of years ago, really. So he's in charge of all mythology for all of it. And so he reads every script. So he's the one who will check in, who will say, well, actually, that breaks a rule and you can't do that. So we have someone whose job is professionally to keep it straight, because my mind is not nearly able to do that.
Well, I was like, I better bone up on the boys before I start, and so it's like research time, and I maybe spent about 5 minutes as a responsible actor, and pretty much immediately became an ardent fan. And it was just like one more episode. Okay, just one more episode before going to sleep.
You kind of get sort of like ultra focused on your character, and in that moment. So yes and no. I feel like there's a lot of like absorbing things and asking some questions and learning from the lore masters. But I also think that most of that is like character driven, and it's like, okay, so like, where am I coming from in this world? Fill me in there. And I think that there's a lot. I feel like that's where I end up getting pretty sucked in.
It's a balance, right? It's like you want it to be enough that so fans of the universe have an experience, but not so much that I never want to feel like people are doing homework, you know? So I think it's good. I think it's like, it gives you a tapestry in the room to just build the world in the background, you know, which will carry forward from Gen V season 2 to the boys finale season.
There's some great new characters in this. Ethan does so good. Hamish does an incredible job.
Fantastic.
Who was your kind of favorite person to observe or even see in the final season that you're like, man, I'm so glad I'm in the same universe as them?
Oh, Hamish, for sure. Hamish, for sure. Because, so this season I went and I would watch London's coverage just to really like be able to track Jordan a little bit easier or a little bit more precise. And, you know, she had scenes with Hamish, and so I got to like sneakily watch his coverage, and just, he is so explosive and so inventive and so fun, and watching that really gave me a sort of like confidence, like, oh, we can do that, you know, like, that's amazing, I'm gonna try that too. Maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't, but that's the whole fun of it. So watching Hamish has been such a treat, and what he's done with Dean Cypher is incredible. It's incredible. He's so good.
I remember at Comic-Con you had referenced like Katara as like one of your idols, right? And that must help with like when it comes to like the action choreography. But in what ways did you push yourself in this season to like get more physical with the character and how she moved?
Yeah, I mean, I did so much stunt training this season, and last season I didn't have time. So like for the stunts, it was kind of just like, you know, learn it on the fly a little bit. And this season I really got to train with Coy and his team. I actually had a knee injury that I had to recover from during filming. And yeah, so this season was very, very, very physical, a lot of fighting and stuff.
You know who else had to learn on the fly? Aang.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Just fine.
Thank you.
I love Jordan and Marie. I think that they're perfect together, and I love working with Jaz. I mean, I've known Jaz for so many years, and getting to be able to have this chemistry with her, and it really is, it's such a boring answer, but it's very effortless for Derek and I and Jaz to all have this throuple together.
Because she's having to not only in the switch pretend that it's the same person, also have chemistry with me and London, two different people. I mean, you see it a lot of times where in shows or movies, you can't have chemistry. It's hard to have chemistry with one person. So credit to her for doing that. And I think just my relationship with Jaz and London's relationship with Jaz, it's special in ways and it's different in ways. And I think bringing that into the Marie Jordan connection allows it to be extremely dynamic and really like three-dimensional.
What was like the most fun prop to work with this season?
I'm gonna flex. I'm sorry. I get the coolest shit when it comes to practical. Like I do. I mean, they build me a giant beer cup. Dude, it was heated.
Really?
The beer, like hot. that's privilege at that point. When I'm like going in, jumping in, I was like thinking it's gonna be cold and it's like so hot. And then for Big Emma, it's in the trailer. She gets big in an office in episode something. I don't want to spoil. And it took 7 weeks to build that, and it was so tiny, and I had to crawl myself in, half naked, mostly naked. So that was. Big M, yeah.
Insane. I was gonna say that big cell phone was cool, but I'm jealous of the beer pong.
So, no. I was so severely out of shape because it was so heavy, and I'm like sprinting like back and forth for like 3 hours, man. So after that, I was like, I took up running.
Well, it's like, you worked out and then you got the therapy with the hot tub beer pong cup. It's a give and take.
Yeah, no. We're fully healthy on this show. We're doing sprints, and then we're going cooling our muscles. And all the things.
I love it.
I'm a huge fan of the boys, so like, you're on set and you're like, oh my God, that's Black Noir, oh my God, So, I mean, those moments, you make you feel like a little kid again, so that's always very exciting. But this whole universe that you've built here, the Vought universe, is so complex and so deep and so thrilling to be a part of that like any interaction with any part of it is something that you just relish.